On May 2nd, 2011, a team of American Navy SEALs stormed a compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. Their target was the world's most wanted man, Osama bin Laden. Moments later, news spread throughout the world. Osama bin Laden is dead.
Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden has been killed.
The raid to kill Osama bin Laden was extremely dramatic, and a lot went wrong. But there was a puzzle. His body was thrown into the sea. But why? What was the reason for this? Let's try to find out in this video. When the 9/11 attacks happened in America in 2001, I'm sure you know that 2 planes crashed into the World Trade Center. 1 plane hit the Pentagon building in Washington, and 1 plane crashed in a field. In total, 3,000 people died that day, and thousands were injured. After this attack, America blamed Osama bin Laden, claiming he orchestrated all these attacks, but Osama refused to accept it. He said, "I didn't do it." Then, 3 years later, a video of Osama bin Laden was released, in which he admitted, "Yes, I did carry out these attacks." And he gave several reasons for it. First was America's foreign policy in the Middle East, especially in the Arabian Peninsula, where America was supporting Israel and its presence. Second, the destruction in Lebanon due to US operations in the 1980s. He also criticized the US leadership for putting the lives of its own citizens at risk because of its foreign policy. After this, the US intensified its efforts to find Osama bin Laden. Their only goal was to kill Osama. Al-Qaeda, whose leader was Osama bin Laden, operated in the tribal areas of Afghanistan. From 2001 to 2008, American forces continued fighting the Taliban in Afghanistan. Then, in 2009, Obama became the president of the US, and he approved increasing the number of American troops in Afghanistan to fight the Taliban and kill the Al-Qaeda leader, Osama bin Laden. Al-Qaeda operatives were also hiding in the tribal areas of Pakistan, which led to drone strikes in Pakistan as well. No one knew Osama bin Laden's location. The US spent millions, even billions of dollars looking for him, but they had been unsuccessful for years. Many times the US carried out drone attacks in places where they thought Osama might be. But then, after some time, a video of him was proving he was still alive. Now I'll tell you how Osama bin Laden's location was found. Since American forces arrived in Afghanistan in 2001 to fight the Taliban, Osama bin Laden stopped using electronic devices to avoid surveillance. So they used couriers for communication, trusted individuals who would physically transfer messages to each other. A trusted person was involved in delivering messages between Al-Qaeda's senior members and Osama bin Laden, whom I will talk about later. In 2004, American forces captured an Al-Qaeda operative, Hassan Ghul, in Iraq. Hassan Ghul also didn't know Osama bin Laden's location. Under torture, a name came out of his mouth, Abu Ahmad al-Kuwaiti. This was the second time the US had heard this name. Another captured Al-Qaeda member had also mentioned it in 2002. Hassan Ghul revealed that Abu Ahmad al-Kuwaiti was Osama bin Laden's most trusted courier, and that Osama might be living under his surveillance. The US put all its focus into finding this man, but years passed without finding any trace of him. Fast forward to 2010. A man in Peshawar, Pakistan, made a call to the Middle East. Although the man spoke very carefully, he made one mistake. He spoke on the phone as if he were talking to a high-ranking member of Al-Qaeda. The American CIA, operating in Pakistan, became suspicious. The man's identity wasn't confirmed. The CIA started monitoring this man. They noted that he traveled frequently from Peshawar to Abbottabad, 120 kilometers from Peshawar. This man was seen visiting a secure compound many times. This entire compound was a red flag for the CIA, as there was no other house like it in the area. Let me give you a tour of this compound. The compound's total area was about 6 acres, and its outer wall was up to 18 feet high, with additional fencing on top. This is the main gate of the compound. This is the entire street through which they enter. At the end, there is another gate inside. This is the car parking area. This is the guest house, and this is the main 3-story building of the house. This area is the house's garden, where they grew their own vegetables and also kept chickens. This is an empty plot. The CIA monitored this compound for several months. They observed that no one came out of the compound. Women and children rarely came out. They didn't even throw garbage outside. They burned it in this plot. There was no phone line going into the house, no internet connection, and no satellite TV connection. The house had very few windows, and they were covered all the time. The wall of the balcony on the top floor was 7 feet high. This made them suspect that some important person was definitely living in this compound.
The CIA confirmed through its sources that the man who made the call and frequented the compound was indeed Abu Ahmad al-Kuwaiti. Furthermore, during surveillance of this compound, the CIA also found out about a tall man who would walk laps in the lawn. This man never left the compound, which increased the suspicion that this person could be Osama bin Laden. After tracking him for a long time, the CIA became fully confident that Osama bin Laden, along with a high-ranking Al-Qaeda member, was residing in this compound. The CIA informed President Obama that they had found Osama bin Laden's location. They weren't 100% sure, but they were completely confident that he was hiding there. Two plans were presented to Obama to kill Osama bin Laden. The first was an airstrike where they would fire missiles at the compound. However, this plan had a flaw. They weren't 100% sure Osama was there, and an airstrike wouldn't confirm whether Osama was dead or not. So they dropped this plan. America wanted to be 100% sure that they had killed Osama bin Laden. So the second option was to send soldiers themselves into the compound to kill Osama. Obama had 2 or 3 concerns with this plan. He asked, if we send our men there and something goes wrong, can we get them back safely? That was the first point. The second point was that they weren't 100% sure Osama was living there. If they went there and Osama wasn't present, they would be entering another country's territory by helicopter and conducting a military operation. If it turned out to be some wealthy sheikh living in that compound, and they sent in special forces, it would create a big problem.
The wealthy prince from Dubai who's in this compound, we've sent special forces in. We've got problems.
So there was a geopolitical risk for them. But Obama said all these risks were worth it, because if they took the risk, they could kill Osama. Obama gave permission to raid the compound. SEAL Team 6, America's most experienced team, was prepared for this mission. They duplicated the exact same compound at several locations and trained the team on how to enter. Then the day arrived when the operation was to be carried out. At that time, America had a base in Afghanistan. They had to enter Pakistan undetected from Afghanistan. The biggest hurdle for them was that the Pakistan Military Academy was only 1.5 kilometers away from Osama bin Laden's compound, and they had to avoid that too. Now you might be wondering why Obama didn't ask Pakistan for help with this operation. Obama said he didn't even tell several important people inside the White House about it. He said he didn't even tell his own family about the mission. He stated it was necessary for him to keep it top secret. He then said that since he hadn't told important people within America, why should he tell people he didn't know well? So, America did not inform Pakistan about the mission, even though they were conducting it in Pakistan. Now there was another layer of risk for them. They also had to avoid the Pakistan Army's radar. If the Pakistani Defense Forces fired missiles, the mission would fail. For this, they chose 2 Black Hawk helicopters equipped with stealth technology, which made them very difficult to detect on radar. They also kept 2 Chinook MH-47s as backup. A total of 24 SEAL members were in the 2 Black Hawks. On May 1st, 2011, at 11 p.m., the 2 Black Hawks departed from Jalalabad Airport in Afghanistan to kill Osama bin Laden. They were heading to Abbottabad, Pakistan, where his compound was located. The journey was 180 kilometers and was estimated to take 90 minutes. The 2 Black Hawks were flying very low to avoid detection by Pakistani radar. Around 12:30 a.m., the Black Hawks reached Osama bin Laden's compound. I should tell you who was living in the compound at that time. A total of 4 men lived in the compound: Osama bin Laden, his son Khalid bin Laden, and 2 other men, Abu Ahmad al-Kuwaiti and his younger brother Abrad al-Kuwaiti. Also living there were Osama bin Laden's 3 wives and children, along with the wives and children of the other men. As they reached the compound, one Black Hawk experienced an air stall. In simple terms, the pilot lost control, and one Black Hawk crashed straight into this plot. This Black Hawk was damaged and could no longer fly. All the SEAL members and crew inside were safe and began entering the compound. They immediately called for the backup plane. Members from the other Black Hawk also exited and began entering the compound. First, they cut the compound's electricity supply to create darkness. Since the SEALs were wearing night vision goggles, this wasn't a problem for them. They used explosives to blow up the inside gate of the compound and began to enter. The SEAL team reached this area. Abu Ahmad al-Kuwaiti, his wife, and 2 children were staying in the guest house. When the SEALs approached the gate, Abu Ahmad al-Kuwaiti fired across the gate. The SEAL team returned fire, and he was hit by bullets through the gate and died. His wife came out crying and said he was dead. She did this to save her life and the lives of her children. I should also mention that while all this was happening, the members in the White House who knew about the mission were watching it live. This is Obama sitting. This is Joe Biden sitting. This is Hillary Clinton. And the other members are there, whose names neither you nor I know. Now, the guest house was clear. And next was the 3-story building. Abrar al-Kuwaiti, Abu Ahmad al-Kuwaiti's younger brother, whom the SEAL team had just killed in the guest house, lived on the ground floor. Khalid bin Laden, Osama bin Laden's eldest son, lived on the 2nd floor, and Osama bin Laden lived on the 3rd floor. The SEAL team blew up the ground floor gate and entered. Abrar was inside. They shot him, and his wife was also hit, and both died. The children were being evacuated and shifted to the guest house. Next, they had to go to the 2nd floor, where Khalid bin Laden lived. Since there was no light, the compound was pitch dark. A member of the SEAL team who knew both Arabic and Urdu called out from the stairs in the same dialect.
Khalid! Khalid!
As soon as Khalid peered out, they shot him instantly. Khalid was also down. Now only Osama bin Laden remained, and he was on the 3rd floor. While all this was happening in the compound, helicopters flying, the noise of blasts and gunfire, people nearby started gathering near the compound.
Go back! They won't kill you!
Returning to the compound, the team was going upstairs. Osama was standing inside the room. They shot him there. Osama bin Laden died on the spot, and the code word was sent, Geronimo, which meant Osama is dead. Geronimo, E-K-I-A, enemy killed in action. After this, they took pictures of Osama's body. They immediately sent them for facial recognition because they were concerned it might be a duplicate. They took his DNA samples, and then it was confirmed that this was Osama bin Laden. They collected all the hard drives and computers in the house for intelligence. They attached several bombs to the helicopter that had crashed in the backyard and blew it up so that it wouldn't fall into the hands of Pakistan. They carried Osama bin Laden's body to the helicopter, and the DNA samples they had taken were placed in the 2nd helicopter as proof in case one helicopter went down. They flew out of the compound and started moving towards Afghanistan. The Pakistan Army also became alert. They sent 2 F-16 aircraft to the location, but it was too late. They had already left Pakistani airspace and reached Afghanistan. Upon reaching Afghanistan, Osama's body was sent for forensic analysis, and it was confirmed that it was Osama bin Laden. President Obama announced the news to the entire United States.
I can report to the American people and to the world. The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda.
Now the question was, what to do with the body? The US did not want to repeat the mistake they had made with the case of Saddam Hussein. After Saddam Hussein's death, his grave had become a shrine for his followers. People came from far and wide to visit his grave. To prevent the same thing from happening with Osama bin Laden, and to prevent him from becoming an inspiration even after death, they decided to bury him at an unknown location in the sea. According to them, they discussed this with Islamic scholars. The body was transferred from the helicopter to the USS Carl Vinson. According to the US, they treated the body according to Islamic customs. The body was given a ghusl, washed. It was wrapped in a kafan, white cloth. It was placed in a coffin. Final prayers were said, possibly the namaz-e-janaza, funeral prayer. And they did all this within 12 hours of killing Osama bin Laden. What are your thoughts on all this? Let me know in the comments.